last week. So who comes out on top in this one? It's time to find out.
Tassie need a little bit more of this man. He's in complete control. He's setting up players from everywhere.
Famous hang time, gets the two. Xavier Cooks, who right fast, gets to the backboard. Nice move, Xavier Cooks.
Yes, it's a big game to end the round. Both teams coming off losses and looking to get back into the winner's circle. There's not a lot of room for error on the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. I'm Jo Healy, great to be here alongside Brad Rosen, and a very special welcome back to Jason Cadee as well. Guys, let's talk about the Kings to start. Back on their home court, they're struggling to click a little bit though, and some of that is Xavier Cook struggling to get himself into games. How does Brian Goorjian get him going?
I think they're just going to get him more of the ball. He's one of those guys when he rebounds. For me, everyone just get out and run. Let Zay bring it up. Let's put him in the middle of the floor and off the elbow and let him just make decisions. And then naturally Zay will find himself in a ball game.
And I think that's a good point, because what will happen is good things will happen if he touches the ball. He's able to find people, because at the moment, the Sydney Kings are not doing a lot of things well. And when you look at seeing how they've been going throughout the season, their three-point percentage is something that has really been struggling. If that man there can get the ball, we see that he didn't shoot much last week, but that foul trouble is what really caused it. If he can get the ball, good things will happen. And this is what I was saying about their three-point percentage. They're 10th in the league in makes. It's just not enough. You look at Matthew Dellavedova, he shots are down. Kendrick's trying to get going. Xavier Cooks is a real battle for them, and they've got to make sure they get it done.
One of those men on your screen there, Kendrick Davis, he has come in and had a great impact for the Kings since his arrival. So too has Bryce Hamilton for Tassie. Where do these two men sit in terms of the discussion of the best imports in the league?
They're up there. There's another Bryce who sits on top, and that's Bryce Cotton. But I really love how Bryce Hamilton plays. I think he's really good. He's different. He's a bigger body. And Kendrick, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's so dynamic. They need to let him play more up-tempo. Give him the ball early and let him play up and down the floor. But tonight, those two guys play a big part.
I think the biggest question mark coming into Tasmania was where does the imports fill in? Well, you look at what Bryce Hamilton's done, and also their other two imports has been brilliant. But both of these guys are really the head of their snake when it comes to scoring, and very much looking forward to them going head-to-head today.
Yeah, Tassie still missing DJ as well. Now, guys, these two teams met in the Ignite Cup last week, and Tasmania really had their way with the Kings. It was a great defensive effort. Josh Bannon in particular had arguably his best game of the season. What can we expect from him tonight?
Well, I think it was maybe his best game all time. He was just aggressive, he rebounded, he really controlled and owned that game. When you look at Tassie, they're not a big lineup, so when he can actually do a lot of that, especially defensively and rebounding, it just changes the way they can play.
Yeah, I agree. I think this team really suits him because they're not that big when you look at the Sydney Kings. But Josh Bannon, I think we're seeing what we all hope we would see. He had some injuries in Brisbane, but right now he looks like a very happy basketballer. He's enjoying playing. And then you see 0 turnovers, and right there, isn't he loving playing in this league?
He feels like he's found his home, that's for sure. Now, we just witnessed an absolute cracker down in Melbourne. Hopefully this one is the same. Who's winning?
Big crowd building, but I'm going to go on the road. I think Tassie can get it done. They're just being more consistent.
I'm so sitting on the edge, and I know everyone will be really credit when I say this, but I think the Kings, you look at loss, win. They've coming off a loss. They're backing up with a win.
Oh, we cannot wait for it. The energy is electric here at Kudos Bank Arena. It's time to hand over to the fourth member of our broadcast team for the call. John Casey, over to you.
Thanks very much, Joe. Good afternoon, everyone. This is an intriguing contest between two teams considered semi-final material, but neither has been able to show the consistency necessary to be a lock for the top four. Tassie coming off their biggest loss of the season to New Zealand by 17 points 9 days ago. Likewise, Sydney coming off their biggest defeat, but a change for their starting lineup today with Bull Quoll called into the starting 5 for the first time this year. Previous 7 games, it's been with Galloway as a starter, but Bull Quoll finally fully over his injury, gets the start here, and the extra defence that he brings to the table is going to be super important for the Sydney Kings as they look to try and keep Tassie to a losing score. The Olympian in 2024 for South Sudan, Rookie of the Year back in 2022, and he will play an important role tonight. For Tasmania, well, as I mentioned, coming off their biggest loss of the season by 17 points to New Zealand, they're going to roll out the starting five, the same five that got the job done against the Sydney Kings when they played 11 days ago in the Ignite Cup. So they have talent right across the board. There's still no import David Johnson and veteran Anthony Drimmick through injury, but they do welcome back Majuk Deng, who has missed the last 4 games with a hamstring complaint. The Australian captain, Will Magnay, squares off against Tim Suarez as we get set to go here. The final game of round 6 in the Hungry Jacks NBL, coming to you from Sydney. The last 2 games in the round have been decided by a single point. Let's hope we get another good one here this afternoon. The Kings control the tip, and we'll have first scoring opportunity here as Dellavedova and shares it around. They find the hot hand with Kendrick Davis. He's off the mark. Cooks the offensive rebound to keep it alive for Dellavedova. He's off the mark likewise. So the 3-point shooting woes that were put out pre-game, they are already evident here. The first 2 attempts from deep, no good for Sydney. Bannon picks up the dribble. Here's Campbell. Got away from Quoll initially. Shot clock to single numbers, found a way past full Quoll and open scoring.
Well, that's a nice move there, exactly what Tasmania would have wanted. Sydney Kings shooting 2 threes and missing, but Tasmania right over the hoop and get the layup.
Whistle off the ball provided by Vaughan Maybury. Foul going to be called on Josh Bannon. First foul of the game. Vaughan Maybury working this game with Nico Fernandez and Travis Stewart. 3 in charge. Davis guarded by Marshall. Puts it on the deck. 2 former Adelaide players last season, and Kendrick Davis opens Sydney's account.
That's really where he excels. When he can get in there and just bump and play in that mid-range game, he's one of the few we've seen which really thrives in the mid-range, and that helps his night get going.
Campbell shakes Dellavedova. Lob pass, close range. Here's Magnay for the finishing touches. So well drilled, Tasmania. You need to be at your best to bring them undone. As Davis explores, got beyond Marshall, confronted by Magnay to the baseline. Nothing on offer down there, retreats away. Single digits on the shot clock now. Shares it with Cooks, who marches inside. Good work from Bannon. Strong body to keep him at bay. Here's Campbell once more, exploring
He's off to a good start.
Fancy footwork.
He's off to a ripper. He's just controlling the pace and really getting downhill, and it's opening up things for Tassie early.
Inside 2 minutes, Campbell has 4. And Tassie enjoy the buffer at the moment, and Suarez is shut down by Magnay. Bannon hands over, Marshall. He goes on with the job as well, draws a foul, chance at a 3-point play. Tasmania getting everything they want at the moment, 4 of 4 from the field.
Well, very concerning. Everything they had, exactly what you just said there, Case, has all been at the rim, right over. Beautiful drives, and Nick Marshall, one of your former teammates, straight at the hoop.
That's really where Nick can just be a lead in this league. He's 6'6", good athlete, get downhill, and I think with Tassie he's really started to find a role where now we find him here tonight starting.
7-point buffer here for the JackJumpers, and they've got the jump on Sydney. Took over 2 minutes played. Cooks looking aggressive today. Arches down low against his Boomers teammate Bannon. Well done Marshall to dislodge the ball. Now it's Davis running out of real estate again down low. Defense has been good so far from the JackJumpers. Davis goes on with the dribble. Got rid of Marshall, made room for the shot, and comes up with a finish. Marshall came up with the error under pressure from Kendrick Davis. First turnover of the game. And speaking of turnovers, well, the Sydney Kings have looked after the ball so well this year, averaging just 7 turnovers a game. It's right now, it's the lowest in NBL history by a team. Small sample group I know so far, as Davis dances into the paint and comes up with 2 more.
Well, if you look at it, Case, you've got KD who's joined with Delhi, 2 guys who really do look after the ball. Then you throw in, normally the ball's in Zave's hand as well. So they've got 3 guys who can really look after it and make good decisions. But they are last in assists.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, it's an interesting mix considering I think KD and Delhi averaged what they averaged as a team right now last year.
Is Hamilton. Found an opening, fires unsuccessfully. Bannon wrestling for the rebound there with Bull Quoll, can only succeed in knocking it down out of court. So Kendrick Davis with all 6 of Sydney's points so far. Tassie with 3 different scorers. Here's Davis going on with it, found it way past Marshall. Suarez, flat-looking 3, he opens his account.
Well, he's coming off the back of a couple of good games. He's really done a great job for the Sydney Kings at the moment. He's big body, defends well, helps and shoots the ball when they need him to do so.
7 unanswered points here from the Kings in the space of 90 seconds. Bannon looking to arrest that, draws a foul, so he's off to the free throw line.
Well, he was outstanding in the last game. 18 points and 14 rebounds as we see KD here. This is what you're talking about. Gets to the paint, 2 feet. Nice kick out to Tim Suarez, who knocks the 3 down.
When you can give KD a bit more room and you can get him up the floor where he can push downhill, like that's one thing we found last year playing with him, just that extra space. He's so quick that it really frees him up. And I think Sydney could look to utilise that a bit more with their group.
Well, an interesting sub. Sean Bruce has checked in for Dellavedova, and this is something that Brian Goorjian has changed up. He likes to bring Delhi out early to let Kendrick run the show a little bit, and then he'll bring Delhi back on for Kendrick and see how they go. So both players not against each other, if I call it, for the ball all the time.
Josh Bannon being good this season, averaging 13 points, 9 rebounds, top 5 in the competition in collecting rebounds. And as we mentioned, 18 points, 14 rebounds and 6 assists when these teams played just 11 days ago. So Sean Bruce has the ball carrying duties. Almost 4 minutes played, term number 1. Tassie on top by 2. Davis, the danger man. Late whistle.
Yeah, it's going to be on Nick Marshall as Xavier Cooks went to crash the offensive glass Marshall went into. I don't mind that, Jason. It's just like giving him a bump to let him know you're not going to get this offensive rebound easy.
And I think that's Tassie's DNA, right?
Yep.
Like they're going to hit you, they're going to play that way, they're going to be here all night. And for Nick, that's one of the things I think he's coming in done well. He's coming in being aggressive and trying to do all the little things which can help his game.
Single digits on the shot clock as Galloway gets a catch and shoot opportunity off the mark. Suarez with the O board goes back to Cooks, who fires over Bannon, and Xavier Cooks comes up with his first score.
Offensive rebounds. We saw Scott Roth after the New Zealand game. He said they just gave up way too many of those, and that'll be something he'll be very disappointed in, that allowed Zave to be able to get it on the rim.
Well, Magnay rushes to the hoop, draws a foul on Suarez, and back to the stripe for a chance at a 3-point play. Suarez with his first personal, 13 foul on Sydney so far. Tassie with 2 in that category as Campbell and checks out for Ben Air. Majuk Deng's going to come in. Good to see him back after missing 4 games with that hamstring injury. It's an important part to this team, can play multiple roles. And a hard matchup for his opposition as well. So new look will Magnay to the stripe. 4 of 4 from the free throw line, Tassie. Kings yet to get to the free throw line. And Bruce and Ben Air playing game number 100 in his 6th season in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Here's Davis, hung in the air, adds another 2. He's up to 8 to lead all scorers.
That's just a tough shot. That is just a guy that can flat out put the ball in the bucket.
How do you guard that, Jace? You would have done it at training with the 36ers.
Pray.
Hope he's not interested. I think for Sydney, though, it's a good sign. They need KD to be aggressive. That's why they've brought him here at the end of the day, to make plays. And I think, obviously, Delhi coming in, it's kind of shared that responsibility. But you said before, Brad, I think seeing KD on the floor now by himself, let's get him the ball and let's let him operate and let's play off the back of that. Coming off 31 against the Phoenix on Thursday night. Portnoy into the paint. Look at the extension there as he banks 2 to come up with his opening score. So the Kings in front for the first time. We're down 7 earlier in this term. Roller coaster so far.
As Hamilton elevates and rattles it home.
And give that to Magnay. Great screen, doesn't move, so nothing's called, and he's a big body, sets the screen, and now Hamilton's just got to make the right decision and pulls up and knocks it down.
Inside, Suarez had it knocked out of his hands. Ben Air, last touch on that. And Sydney will get it back with 12 on the shot clock. Not before TJ Starks checks in to give Bryce Hamilton a rest. In fact, Hamilton's staying. And Nick Marshall's going to check out.
Jason, I wanted to ask you, I don't think I've had the chance to talk to you about, a lot of substitutions happen now these days. Do you, as a player coming out, is it hard?
Sometimes I think you're looking over going, please don't be me. I think for me, I look at Sydney maybe, and they played the other night where Tassie didn't, so try and keep bodies fresh early. But I think sometimes we maybe do it a little bit too much at times, and we try and, especially if it's not a busy schedule, Tassie are about to embark. I think they've got 3 games this week, so there's probably a little bit of also, hey, we can't cook everyone on Sunday when we play again Wednesday. But for me, with the league so close, you've got to take advantage of the game you're in now.
You need every win.
Noy, penetration was good. Finish left a little to be desired, but he stayed with it and came up with the 2.
Well, that's their 5th offensive rebound. They've only got 1 defence, the Kings, so this is starting to become a problem here for Tasmania.
Magnay uses Hamilton. Got away from Galloway. The hostage dribble, gets down low. And efficient finish as well. And a foul called on the play as well.
Sean Bruce back, I think, on the rebound.
Let's go courtside to Joe Healy.
Thanks, Case. I like the way the Kings have come out here. They've got a fire in their eye. Their best game this season was that win over the 36ers a couple of weeks ago. They talked about going to Adelaide for a military operation, and they've been trying to capture that intensity since. This feels like they are on their way.
Thanks, Joe. There's some confusion here where they're going to count that last score. Fawn Mabry and Nico Fernandez chatting it over.
Yeah, you're right, Case. Oh, there we go. Nico definitely said no basket, but he's come back now and said count it.
Well, that please Scott Roth, because he was up and about. So the foul called on Bruce. So that's the 4th team foul on Sydney. Still almost 4 minutes left in this opening quarter, so it's an area they're going to have to be aware of.
Well, the clock stopped there at 3:52, but they've just changed it back now to 3:45. That's what we were talking about. So 7 seconds now has been taken back.
Ben Air, he shook Bruce, but elected not to go on with it. Uses Hamilton instead. Single digits on the shot clock. Again, Hamilton caught. Galloway out of position. Couldn't complete it, though. Noy drags it down eventually. 7-3, the rebound count in favour of Sydney. Davis splits the defenders there, gets down low and earns a trip to the stripe.
Number 6, TJ Starks. He's first. For the JackJumpers.
So substitutions from both teams here.
Back in for our Kings.
Such an important game for both teams. Sydney coming in 6th position on the ladder. Tassie are 4th, but Sydney leapfrog Tassie and get to 4th with a win. And given the tightness of the league, where we've had 3 one-point games already in this round, and wins at home are so important in terms of trying to present yourself when it counts most.
Well, the chess pieces are going on here with the coaches. As soon as Magnay came out, the Kings made the substitution to get Suarez out of the court as well, just to give him a break. So that'll put Zave in the 5. Makes them a little bit small, and that's something the Kings have had some issues with, the rebounding.
First trip to the free throw line for the Kings in the game. Blood rule here. Ben Air has got some blood on his lip. He's going to have to sit down in game number 100. Been a terrific warrior around the league, Ben Air. As I mentioned, his 6th season, first year with Tassie. Started in Adelaide as a DP, played at 4 clubs. Of the 142 players who have played NBL this season, only 42 of them are 100 games or more. So he's in elite company, Ben Air, and always brings something to the table.
Joey Wright, protege. Joey did a lot with Benny when he was younger, and when I was at Adelaide, that was when Benny, even early when I was at Gold Coast, Benny used to come in as a young fella and be around and work out with Joey, and he's kind of always had a bit of a chip on his shoulder, but I think now he can probably take the chip off a little bit because he's actually, as you just said, Case, he's played 100 games now. He starts to show that he's belonged in the league, and he plays a great role off the bench of bringing energy and sometimes a bit of poking the bear.
Hamilton elevates and knocks down the shot. He's up to 6 on 3 of 5. Well, he shot the ball at 43% last season as well for the Phoenix Ben Air, so he can hurt you in a lot of different ways, and every team needs a Ben Air type player. Dellavedova gets it back from Malawatch, picks up the dribble, and Malawatch puts it on the deck. He likes his chances against a smaller opponent, but Tiger Campbell did well to corral him far enough away from the basket, so he made it difficult for him. Tassie by 2. Inside the last 3 minutes of the opening quarter from Kudos Bank Arena. It's Hamilton, being aggressive, high off the glass. Nice finish.
He is so tough.
Hasn't he? Boy, he's come to play today.
8 points for Hamilton. They lead by 4. The outside shot from Sydney off the mark again. 1 of 5 from long range. JackJumpers, none of 1. They've been able to get inside for most of their work. But on cue, Majuk Deng's going to pull the trigger on a 3. Foul called on the Kings here, so free throws to come. Over the limit now, Sydney. It's on Xavier Cooks. That's a second personal then for Xavier Cooks.
One of the things we've got to worry about the City Kings, have a look at the 3 defenders down low. This is all the passing that are going on with the Kings, and really the defenders don't have to move. And this is one of the struggles that the Kings have been able to get going. Then everything they do, they drive in, and it's against the muscle, and that's why the ball kicks around. It goes to the 3-point line. They're shooting poor percentage from there. Jace, for me, it feels like if they can get the ball from one side to the next, move the defense, then they'll be able to create stuff in the middle.
We spoke pre-game about trying to get Xavier Cooks involved, and I feel like this is the prime group when you do need to. Get him the ball in the middle of the floor, let him go play in handoff action with Delhi and people like that, so it is off the move and it's not stagnant. Then maybe you can get Xav off some little stuff where he's actually in control. You can start to set some brush screens for him and get him downhill. But we're just not seeing a lot of it as he gets the ball here. And now he gets to make choices. And this is where I think Xav can excel because he can make the right pass and the right decision.
Finds Dellavedova, shares it outside. Full qual. Now Malawatch dances inside Campbell. Over the top of Hamilton, and a blocking foul called on Hamilton. It's on Starks, in fact. That's going to be a second personal for Starks.
Well, I think that's what you're talking about there, Jace, how they got the ball went from one side to the next, then it was up fake, and now Tasmania having to close out, and that allowed penetration to be able to get at the rim. So a much better set there by the Sydney Kings.
Watch Malawatch to the stripe. 1 of 3 so far this season, averaging 4 points a game in 13 minutes. I think he's got a lot to offer, and we haven't seen the best of him just yet. Trying to work his way into the rotation a little bit more. 4th season in the NBL, starting with Melbourne United. So the margin is 3, inside 2 minutes to play, opening quarter, while trying to harass Tiger Campbell. He's enjoying the contest. Bannon directing trap, wants Majuk Deng in the Starks direction, who gets it now, got beyond Malawatch, confronted by Suarez, who did well. Deng looks down low, Bannon, he started, he's going to finish it as well. Josh Bannon now, his first field goal of the game.
This is where having Juk back really helps him. Obviously, his ability to stretch the floor, it just separates some stuff where now Bannon can play inside and out as Quatnoy bowls over Majuk Deng on the other end. But I think he just gives that Tassie lineup some freedom because he is a really great stretch shooter. And now with Bannon and Will there, it gives him some flexibility to play different ways.
Yeah, he's such a difficult customer for the opposition. Ben Air is back as well. I think Scott Roth and Tasmania have done a terrific job so far to beat 4th. 4-3 is the record. They've had an horrendous schedule so far. 6 of their first 8 games on the road. Their first 3 games were against the top 3 teams from last season. So they've been able to negotiate a tough stretch and get to where they have. And this is while doing it without Anthony Trimick and, of course, without Johnson as well. Played just the 2 games so far and was averaging 17 a game when he suffered that calf injury at training.
Well, the stoppage here is they're trying to work out what's happening and who got the foul, because Starks has just been grabbed and he said to the bench, I've only got 1 foul, and they think that he's got 2.
They called the block on Starks, but it was actually on Hamilton, if you remember. Hamilton was the one that stepped up. I think they've actually mixed that up.
Certainly confused me. Tassie on top by 5. Both teams in front in this opening quarter. Top 4 spot on the line. The Hungry Jacks set NBL. Round 6 of 22. Quarter of the way through the season for some teams. Here's Campbell. Went on with the dribble. They left him alone. And he makes them pay.
Well, this on-ball screen at the top is really causing havoc here for the Kings. They've got 3 people moving, and they haven't got an answer. It's either a 3, a layup, or a little floater, and they're getting whatever they want at the moment.
Brad, I also feel like Tiger Campbell has maybe seen something he likes, because I haven't seen him this aggressive to get in the paint. He's set up a lot of things, and he had a game where he shot the 3-ball really well, but he's really tried to get in the paint here.
3 of 3 from the field so far for Tiger Campbell. He has 6 points. Nice fall away there as Dellavedova comes up with his first score in the game. They're going to need contributions across the board here today, Sydney. As Campbell picks up the dribble. Deng works inside. Dellavedova goes on with the dribble, and from close range, Majuk Deng gets it done. His first score. They've got all the answers and a 7-point lead here. Shot clock 3 seconds inside the game clock. Dellavedova in a trap double team. Needs some help here. Got problems. Eventually gets it to Suarez. And they find the open man. And he fills it up. Watch.
Big fan of this kid. Every time he comes on, he makes something happen.
Here's Majuk Deng. That looked after the event. Going to be waved away. Couldn't get it to fall anyway. And an entertaining first quarter concludes here after both teams were in front during the term. It's Tasmania at quarter time by 4. The JackJumpers 29, Kings 25. More from Sydney right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Tangerine Slam Challenge. Tangerine high-speed NBN here, and there's going to be a high-speed activation right now. Who do we have?
That's right, we've got Armani here. Armani's very easy. It's 500 points for a layup, 1,000 points for a free throw, or 3,000 points for a three-pointer. Your challenge target is, the Tangerine target is 5,000 points. Are you ready? Good. Where are you going to start? Right here. Okay, free throw. We'll count it down. Rob, let's count it down. Wait for it. Wait for it.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Everybody is 1,000 points.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. Thanks for Tangerine.
She needs a total of 5,000.
Come on.
At the moment, she has 0.
Let's go. Go for a three-pointer. Try the three-pointer.
Go for a layup.
15 seconds.
Go, go. Cheer her on, ladies and gentlemen.
3,000 points. Yes. That's 3,000 points. Another one.
Keep going, keep going.
One more mark in the distance. 5, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, jeez.
That's 3,000 points. He didn't quite get the target. 5,000 points thanks to Tangerine. But she scored herself 2 tickets the next home game.
Well, that's all right.
Well done, well done. So, well done. Thank you, Marty. And thanks to Tangerine.
All right, big thanks to Tangerine for bringing us the Tangerine Slam Challenge tonight. Think you could do better? Well, scan the QR code now to play Tangerine Slam on your phone. Join the weekly comp for your chance to win NBL tickets.
Welcome back to Kudos Bank Arena. Tassie are moving the ball well offensively, leading the Kings by 4 at quarter time. Listening in to the JackJumpers huddle. Scott Roth wants his troops to keep working on the effort plays. Fronting up defensively, crashing the glass. They're losing the rebound count at the moment. The final message, don't give up anything without a fight.
Thanks very much, Joe. Yes, been entertaining so far. Both teams in front in the opening quarter. And the efficiency from Tassie, 12 of 15 from the field at 80%. They're getting interior looks and they're making the most of them. Possession arrow with the JackJumpers and a 4-point edge. Bannon just stepped on the foot there of Davis. And a foul's going to be called on Kendrick Davis. His first personal.
Case, you're mentioning about the way they're shooting. Points in the paint, 24-8 for the Sydney Kings. It's certainly a highlight of that first quarter. Tasmania really could get whatever they wanted.
Been dictating so far. And the Kings hanging tough at the moment. They need just to weather the storm here. Find some answers. Bannon puts it on the deck against Suarez. Retreats. Shot clock to 3. Now Campbell timed it nicely and Bannon gets it done and draws a foul on Suarez.
Well, this is the thing about Tasmania. They will not beat themselves. They are a very, very good basketball team that's extremely well coached. They run their sets. They run exactly what they need to run. And you have to be playing every possession to try and get a win out of this team.
29 points in the opening quarter equaled Tassie's best opening quarter of the season. And adds the extra here, so they're back out to a 7-point lead. It's been as big as it's been at any stage. They led 9-2 early running before the Kings took the lead at 15-14, but they have been chasing Cooks aggressively, unsuccessfully. Suarez overcooked it from close range. Tassie running. TJ Starks handing over. Bannon uses Ben Air. Found some room for the shot. He's been cooking of late. That one off the back of the rim though. Cooks had it, Deng stole it away, but then short-armed it. Opportunity missed there for Tassie. Dellavedova hands over to Davis. Guarded by Campbell. In a play term number 2, Delhi, they stood off him, invited him to shoot. He caught the front of the rim. Magnay preparing to check back in for Tassie. Bannon shares it with Campbell against Davis. Got a look, couldn't convert. Galloway the rebound. Kings still looking for their first score of the quarter. We played 90 seconds. Suarez with a low catch against Bannon. Forced into a tough shot. Suarez gets it done. Quite an arm wrestle unfolding here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Trust you are enjoying our coverage wherever you may be watching around Australia and beyond. Spot on the top 4 up for grabs. Starks exploring. We're still off the ball here. Dellavedova getting involved physically. And he's going to pick up the foul.
Well, I don't mind the foul in one sense because they've been hugging their mans in the corner, and what that's enabled is the roller to go straight to the hoop and get an open layup. Delhi that time sagged off his man a little bit and gave a good bump to Deng, and whilst it was a foul, no problem, so some physicality down there.
9 fouls overall on Sydney, 5 on Tassie so far. Dellavedova aggressively against Starks here. He shakes him into the paint, lob pass, Bannon. In close range, be disappointed he didn't finish that.
Thought he had the perfect chance just to catch a little lob and finish there. Yeah. He kind of came down with it when he didn't need to.
Dellavedova's open and he drills the 3.
That'll make him feel a little bit better about life, Case, when you can step in and knock down a 3 ball with the struggles he's notably had. That'll help him feel very, very good.
Well, that's his 3rd 3 of the season, so you're not wrong, Chase. That'll make him feel great. But I like the bit of physicality here of what the Kings are playing here. And great little dump. Delhi steps into it, knocks the 3 down, and isn't he happy about that one?
2 of 18 coming into this game. Been a lean trot for Delhi, remembering that he shot above 40% for Cleveland in their championship-winning year in the NBA. Hit over 100 threes. Right now, Ben Air to the free throw line. Tassie 7 of 8, Sydney 3 of 4 from the stripe so far. You love that from Ben Air. Knocks down the free throw and then immediately eyeballs Kendrick Davis. He's straight over there. This is my job. Anything from the free throw line or scoring is going to be a bonus, but right now He wants to shut down Kendrick Davis, who's got 9 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Double teamed on the halfway line. Oh, he may have stepped over. Well, Nico Fernandez was right there and he turned it over.
Well, as a big man, that's how you double the ball. You come out, you're aggressive, you can use the half court as your advantage because you can't go over it. That was a fantastic double by Will Magnay.
Will's one of the best we have in this league, if not the best. They've been able to do a bit of both.
Yeah,
a lot of bigs play that drop coverage, which Will can do exceptionally well. We've seen him protect the paint. But I think underrated how well he slides his feet and shows on things, especially at his size.
Hamilton against Dellavedova. Good contest. Red numbers on the shot clock, and Hamilton fills it up. He's into double digits.
I'm going to steal one of Drewy's words here. He's off to a tantalising start.
Tassie by 6. Galloway aggressively inside. Good first step, and Galloway comes up with his first points. Bannon. Hamilton ignored him and went to Ben Air instead. And Selecti from outside wanting to do their work inside, and that's why they're shooting the ball now at 68% from the field. Kings have got no answer to the ball getting inside as Davis feeds outside. Portnoy got a good look. Suarez, the O-board and the putback. So Tim Suarez now with 7 points, 3 O-boards as well. Playing catch-up, though. Tassie dictating at the moment. Magnay. Lost the handle on it. Thought about the pass, wanted it back. Eventually got it to Hamilton. Single digits on the shot clock for Hamilton. Bounces past Suarez, Magnay. And again, they get it done inside. Brian Goorjian's had enough. He needs to chat about this because the Tasmania JackJumpers all over Sydney inside at the moment.
Look, it's the on-ball screen, and Jason, I want to throw this at you. Where do they go? To me, we just spoke about Will Magnay. I don't think that's done enough in this league. Double and double hard to get the ball out. Do you do that, or do you just switch? Because something's got to change.
Yeah, they're going to have to look at something different. I think with Suarez out there, maybe you could still look at switching and force him to make some contested shots, because right now, they're just getting downhill over and over again, where at least if you switch, you're now making him make another move or something a little bit different, and it does change it. Or, like you said, do you go and double a Bryce Hamilton now and just give him a different look for 2 minutes?
Good chess match between the coaches as well. Pre-game, Joe Healy spoke with Scott Brock.
So, strong performance against Sydney last time you played. What did you learn from that one that you can bring into today?
Well, I think just in general, if we're able to control some of the tempo of the game and not have some live ball turnovers and get them feeding in their fast break and getting up and down the floor, and we pride ourselves on kind of being a bit more disciplined, and our shot selection has to be on point.
Well, they were good in the Ignite Cup. It was 86-70 11 days ago. And Brian Goorjian, 70 points, is his second lowest score ever in Sydney. Just didn't have any answers.
Yeah, look, to me, Jace, I'd even think right now they're 0 of 4 from the three-point line, the JackJumpers. I'd throw a zone. Just something different completely. Just a big zone. Try and get them to start, you know, at least shooting from the outside and get a hand, because it's all in the paint.
We've spoke about this before, Brad, about some teams, there's almost like the zone's dead a little bit at the moment, and I don't really understand it. Maybe because of my background with my old man and that I grew up in a bit of a mix-up, but I still believe there's a time to show a zone, and especially now, you're giving up so many points in the paint. Let's just give something different and see if it works. It can change the rhythm of game dramatically.
Middle stages, term number 2. Kings trailing by 6 at the moment. Suarez been influential, feeds Dellavedova. Can't finish it though, kept alive. O-board again for Bull Quoll. And the Kings, and from close range, Bull Quoll rattles one home and comes up with his first score. 8 O-boards to 2. Kings getting it all. Offensive rebounding. Tiger Campbell with time to tie his shoelace during the offense. Air, poor pass. Bull Quoll read it. Wants to take Hamilton on, who reached in quickly and deflected the ball. Great defensive play to prevent Bull Quoll from getting the 2 he was counting on. Here's Tiger Campbell leading them a merry dance. Now Bannon tried to split Quoll, and Suarez came up empty. Davis, he'll go to work from close range, gets it done, draws a foul.
Well, good kick up there to be able to get it to Kendrick Davis early, because that man is electric in the open court. You can just see he had him on a bicycle there and didn't know what to do, and Kendrick Davis lightens the crowd up here at Sydney.
The first free foul on the Jackies. Timeout here. Turtles playing to making your scores. JackJumpers 40.
Tangerine timeout. Kings closing here. Let's get the Joe Healy courtside.
Yeah, thanks, Case. Was just listening to that last timeout from the Sydney Kings. Brian Goorjian will be really happy with the way they played that last couple of minutes. Just talking them through their defense, how to handle the on-ball. He said we've got to have the low coverage in the paint. Everybody's got to crash the boards. Let's stay locked in and finish this quarter.
Well, Jason Cadee, fresh out of playing from last season with the Adelaide 36. A tough question, I know, but tell us, during your career, were there certain coaches who you thought were tougher to play against? Who's the best coach in the league, in your opinion, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, obviously everyone at times has such a different environment in how they play. I've always found, and now listen, sometimes it depends on the talent they also have on their team. But I think over the last few years, Dean Vickerman has been a heavy hitter in terms of his team always plays the right way. They've always got great talent, and so you know no matter whether you're playing home or away. Yeah. But then even if the earlier years, you go back to Andre Lamanis at New Zealand, Trevor Gleeson at Perth, they had groups there that were just well coached, very talented, and you knew no matter what, you were going into an environment that was going to be tricky and different.
And any truth in the rumour that you would have stayed in Adelaide if you knew Bryce Cotton was coming?
There's a little bit of truth. I've made my decision. I'm quite comfortable with it, but I do sit there watching Bryce play for Adelaide and think, geez, it'd be nice to sit on the bench.
It's not a little bit of truth. He absolutely wanted to. Who wouldn't?
Well, I heard they couldn't afford Bryce while Jace was still there, given the salary cap.
Case, I wish that was the case.
So the Kings close to within one. Good fight back from them. They've been down 7 in this second quarter, as they were in the opening two. Campbell puts it on the deck against Davis. Now feeds outside. Air. He too wants to get a little closer to the hoop from the elbow. Tough shot with Dellavedova all over him, and that's better D from Sydney. Forced Tassie out of their comfort zone then. Take a shot they were reluctant to. Davis against Ben Air. Baseline. And it rattles around, wouldn't fall though, and Dellavedova keeps it alive with the O board. They've stepped out of court there. Love the hustle from Delhi.
Brad, Sydney have really had a good couple of minutes here. They had that timeout, they were down 6, and then they've come out with some energy and just a bit of physicality, which I think has helped turn the game a bit here.
Completely agree. Completely agree. They've really changed it up, so it was a good timeout.
8 scorers in the game already for Sydney as well. Contributions across the board. Kendrick Davis with 12 leads all scorers. Bryce Hamilton with 10 leads Tassie, and on cue grabs it now. Against Dellavedova, Magne rolling to the hoop. Hamilton fires over. Suarez helps himself to the triple.
I've been watching him on TV for a few games, but seen him in person. He's just something a bit different, Case. Brad, often we have small guards as imports that are really the dominant figure, but I actually think having someone that's a bit bigger, 3-man, it's been really nice to watch, and he just is smooth with the ball.
Hard to come by, aren't they? So Buchwald muscles his way to the free throw line for the first time in the game.
The thing I've noticed with these imports, and I use him and the other Bryce, of course.
Third foul on Hamilton, he's out.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so it just, Jace, I don't know what it is. They just have so much time. It's just like the game slows down for them, and that's when you know you're watching a great play.
And you see it across, doesn't matter what league they're in, but when you have those guys who truly can make things happen, sometimes it looks like they're not out of first gear, but it's just how they treat the game, and they know how good they are, I think. And especially when they're in the right environment. When they're in the right environment, you really see people shine.
I mean, the one that's amazing at the moment is watching SGA in OKC. He never looks like he gets a sweat. He's unbelievable.
It's because they have so many timeouts over.
Far too many. His start to the top of the key. Drew Suarez outside. Bannon got a look. Can't convert. Marshall appeared to be bumped, searching for the rebound. Davis came up with the ball. And now Alexander fires. He looked off the deep, caught the front of the rim. So Bannon running. Marshall to his right. Starks joining in as well. Bannon goes solo. Took on Portnoy. They needed some help to get it done. So Davis going solo against Marshall. Took the bump and knocks down another. He's got 14 in the game to lead all scorers.
That's just sheer talent. Sheer talent. Unbelievable offensive transition.
Bannon against Suarez on the retreat. His Starks down to the baseline. Stutter step was good, and traffic finishes overdid it. Bannon got a piece of it, but it spills to Davis. So inside the last 3 minutes, Kings back to within 2. Davis gives them the lead.
This is the most I've seen Sydney with the ball in KD's hands, I think. I think they've made a thing of putting the ball hands as Tiger Campbell shoves over Bull Quoll. Brad, it's unlike we see Bull Quoll involved in a situation like that.
So Vaughan Mabry and Nico Fernandez are going to talk this over. Foul's going to be called on the JackJumpers.
As Tiger says, yep, that's me. Here's my singlet number.
Campbell shoves Bull Quoll out of the way.
Well, you can't do that.
They're going to call that a normal foul.
I think that's going to be unsportsmanlike.
Or a tech, it'll be one of them.
There's no question, Bull Quoll, a little bit of an elbow, a little bit of a shoulder in there, and you know, raised it, but you just really, you just got to be smarter than that.
Well, the thing for Tiger too, he showed what you do with Bull, a guy like him who wants to be physical. In the first few minutes, he said, you want to climb up, and I'm just going to get downhill.
Put it on the rim.
And I think for me, you've just shown that he can frustrate you at times, and he is. He's physical, he holds, he grabs. There was a time I left the game, and I think I had fingerprints down my arm in bruise marks, and they were from Bull Quoll. But that's just letting them get the best of you right there, and he's just got to be a little bit better.
So just a normal foul is the call. The shove from Tiger Campbell. Well, not a lot in it, so they're just going to call that. But when these teams played 11 days ago, Campbell was all over them, had his best game of the season, 21 points, 5 assists, knocked down 5 of 9 threes. And if he can bring that to the table, Tassie are going to win most games if he can knock down 5 threes. They're 1 of 6 from deep at the moment, Tassie. Come in shooting the ball at 31% from long range. So Sydney with possession and the lead here inside the last 3 minutes of the first half. 4th spot on the ladder up for grabs. And Magnay got a piece of the shot from Bull Quoll.
Well, that is outstanding defense from Magnay. He's the one that had the double up high, and then the rotation to be able to get a big man chase all the way to the corner and get a piece. Amazing defense.
Nothing easy, Kings fans. Defense.
Kings have committed 4 fouls in this term, so can't afford another as Campbell bounces into Cooks. Shot clock for single digits. Marshall back to Campbell. Now red numbers for Tassie to work with. Campbell forces a tough shot against Cooks, but he comes up with the finish. He's got 8 on 4 of 5.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Listen, they're going to hold and grab. They're going to get up and in. Just play at your own pace like he does. And he's one of those few guys when he's up and going, he actually plays at a nice tempo.
Davis harassed by Magnay. Skip past to Dellavedova in the corner, who works baseline on Campbell. Confronted by Magnay, got it to Cooks, and they're going to count the bucket for interference. Second field goal of the game for Xavier Cooks. They need him more involved in the offense, as we saw for Sydney in their loss to the Phoenix. Just couldn't get him involved at all. Now contact off the ball here. Bull Quoll and Tiger Campbell. And Campbell's going to be called for the foul here. So 4th team foul on Tassie in this quarter, and Campbell's going to sit down with his 2nd personal. Already on the bench is Bryce Hamilton with 3 fouls. So the Kings just getting inside the head of the Tassie JackJumpers at the moment. Davis has been the danger man. Again, a whistle off the ball. Foul's going to be called here on Majuk Deng. Free throws to come now.
Yeah, that's not a good foul. Definitely held him. Just want to show you this defense from Will Magnay, and you watch up here. Here's the double that he has up high. You will see it. He comes up here with the double. Now watch him get all the way to the corner and block that shot. That is brilliant defense from your 5-man.
Off the first pass too. Normally that goes swing, swing. That's quite the effort.
Portnoy to the free throw line. And they're going to give him another chance at that.
It's been clear instruction for 2 seasons now that you would stay there. Don't walk him off.
And you get an explanation from Vaughan Mabry.
We still have 2 here. 2.
The Portnoy, 16 of 18 from the free throw line this season. has been very good at 89%, and they pay the penalty because he did miss the first. Has played well against Tassie in the past, Courtney.
We're being silly. Guys, this side. This side now. Guys, let's go. Just give it.
Game of chess.
Hey, that's just a left game. Both teams still left game.
Delay of game, so Nico Fernandez losing patience here.
This is the delay of game.
Fair enough, too.
This is not acceptable.
What are we doing,
Here we
Case?
go.
What are we doing?
I understand.
Well, Suarez was trying to stay with Deng, so Deng kept moving and Suarez kept moving. And Courtney did well to stand there at the free throw line and just knock down the shots.
Just missed the Benny Hill music. That was the only thing I was waiting for.
So the Kings by 3, their biggest lead of the game, 90 seconds out from half-time. After Tassie had led by 7 in both the first and second quarter. Kendrick Davis stripped it away from Marshall. He's starting to get the better of that battle, and he goes solo, this time off the mark. Magnate beats Starks. Deng around the perimeter. This is Marshall inside the last 60 seconds from Sydney. Starks exploring to the elbow, pulls up the left hand, it's off the front of the rim, and Suarez drags down another rebound. That's number 8 for him. Here's Dellavedova. They left alone again, stood off him. He passed it to Suarez, who adds the 2 from close range. Timeout called here by Tassie. Kings have opened up a 5-point buffer with 41 seconds to play in the first half. I don't think Brad Rosen was convinced that was a pass, Chase.
I think you're being very kind, Chase, to one of our legends of Australian basketball.
You weren't convinced either.
No, I think he shot that.
Well, Sydney, it's been a mixed bag for them. Haven't won back-to-back games so far this season, Brian Gorgian's men. Their wins have been good. They beat New Zealand by 22, Adelaide by 24, and then they beat Perth by 22 as well. But their losses have been significant as well. 17 to the Phoenix, 16 against Tasmania 11 days ago, and 14 in Melbourne. It's the first time in 10 years that the Kings have had 7 consecutive games of a double-figure result. Generally, Brian Gorgian's teams, I know this is only his second season in this stint, they stick around. You don't see blowouts, and you have to go back 10 years to find a Sydney team that has had these double-digit results, either win or loss, in such a run. But I guess not surprised when you consider they've had 6 coaches in 8 years here in Sydney. It's been a revolving door, and they need to get some stability, and I think they're getting that with Brian, Billy Tomlinson, and of course Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, I think, speaking of Gorge, one of the problems that he's had is playing for the full 40 minutes. There are times there, like they've been in games a lot of times, but then it just falters. They were in the game against Melbourne, but lose by whatever that was, 16 or 17 by the time that they just turn a quarter off. And, I mean, I think that's the challenge for everyone, Jace, this year. Outside of Melbourne, everyone's challenging.
Well, to Case's point before, we've seen a lot of change. So I think at the moment, we're actually watching a lot of teams try and figure it out on the fly, where normally they figure it out in pre-season, and that start is early, where we're seeing it go into the season well and truly. Round 6 or 7 now.
Dang, back to air. Looks good off the hand. It's fouled by Courtney, and we'll go to the free throw line here, Ben Air. That's a clumsy foul from Courtney. Going to be his second personal.
Well, their coach killers. 27-18. The Kings are up this quarter at the moment prior to that foul. They're in a nice rotation. Let them shoot from the outside. They're 1 of 6. There's really no need to foul right there.
Let's see what you got right here. Where are you, Sydney?
Interestingly, Ben Air, this season, coming into this game, just 56% from the free throw line. His career mark is in the 80s. He's struggled with the 3 ball as well in the season, but that's come back to the high standards we generally expect from him. Whatever the problem was earlier in the season, he's been able to shake it off. It didn't look like missing there. It's almost Jason Cadee-like.
No, it touched the rim slightly. Jason's only is net only.
I'm in that stage now, right, where I'm retired. We can say those things and no one really knows.
2-second differential between game clock and shot clock here as we head toward half-time. Tassie were out by 7 in this term. Kings have got the buffer at the moment and the ball. And red numbers on the shot clock for Davis. Feeds Courtney, wide open, and he drills the 3. Although patient with it, got the 3. Marshall will have to fire from 3 quarters after the event. after a great quarter from the Sydney Kings. They trailed by 4 at quarter time, and they'll go in here at halftime with a 5-point edge. Sydney 55, Tassie 50, and quite an arm wrestle, Jace.
Yeah, it is. I think what we saw was the physicality stepped up, and I thought actually Tassie played into Sydney's hands, showed a bit of frustration, didn't quite get the ball movement, which we were talking about early on.
Let's get some reaction courtside with Joe Healy.
I've got Kendrick Davis with me. Kendrick, great turnaround for you guys. What fueled the run in that second quarter?
We got a little more stops. They had like 46 with 6 minutes to go and finish with 50. So, yeah, start with the defensive end. Coach keep preaching it, and we did it for 6 minutes.
Bryce is doing a good job of keeping them in it. What's the challenge he's presenting?
Good player. He gonna make shots. They got a good team though. That's what make them hard to guard. Tiger, TJ, Nick, big fella, Josh. So they got a great overall 5 to where you can't key in on one guy. So it's gonna take a team effort.
Good luck for the rest of it.
Thank you.
We've got a ball game on our hands here at Kudos Bank Arena. Stay with us. We'll break down the first half action when we come back. Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's Indigenous round, a great occasion, and the Sydney Kings will be pleased with a 5-point lead at halftime. Joe Healy alongside Brad Rosen and Jace Kitty. Guys, that was an intense, tough first half. We'll have a look at the numbers here. Where is this game being won and lost?
Well, it swung significantly after quarter time, where I think Sydney just took control of the game. I actually think it's a bit for them. They've freed up the floor by actually making some threes. They've made more threes today than they made all the last game, and I think it's helped them offensively.
I love looking at that. 11 assists from 21 made field goals. They're +5 on the rebound counts. They're doing the little things, Joe, and that's something they haven't been doing all year.
We're going to take a look at the Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. No surprises. We're going to highlight Kendrick Davis for the Sydney Kings, really leading the way and just being oh so aggressive out there.
I spoke before about the need for KD to play downhill. When he gets to play at pace, it's when he thrives. I've seen it all last year. And I just think they've made an effort to get him downhill, set some stuff up high, and when he starts to do that, you can see the flow he can get in.
And just adding to that, Jace mentioned something in the thing. They're giving him the ball early, and then letting him to play like that one. Let him go to work. Let him do what Kendrick Davis does, and that is get in the open court. He's playing. He's making shots. He has everything on a string today.
So if you're Scott Roth in the JackJumpers locker room right now, what are you saying to your team to slow him down in this second half?
I think you pick him up lower. I don't think you pick him up in the full court. I think you say we're going to meet him back in the quarter court and at least keep him in front of us. And I think that'll go a long way for them to just wrestle back control of the game.
I also think that you don't need to bro the bear. Like, just leave him alone. Like, he's playing good basketball. Just play exactly what Jason's saying. Just let him have to beat you. Because with Tasmania, they won't beat themselves. Let's get back to that basketball that we know is Tasmania JackJumpers ball.
Well, KD mentioned it when I spoke to him just before the break. Tassie are a great team. They've got the leaders out there, Bryce Hamilton, Tiger Campbell as well. What are you seeing from those guys and what do you want to see from them moving forward?
I think them getting in foul trouble hurt. They've both controlled the game really well, and Bryce Hamilton has 13, has to sit the last 3.5 minutes with 3 fouls. So they have to get those guys back in the game because when they were both playing, they had control of the basketball game.
When they were on that on-ball up high, the Kings had no answer. They made a slight tweak, the Kings, by able to double or to even switch. Just go back to that. It's really working.
This is the final game of round 5. We've had some awesome basketball so far. A couple of blowouts there, but a couple of clutch finishes as well. What stands out to you?
Well, I think the game before was a brilliant one, and then Illawarra going over to Perth. They both kind of struggle to find form, and then to pull out a 1-point game on the road in Perth, that'll be great for the Hawks.
Yeah, I thought that Illawarra game last night was quite special, the way they played, the way Tyler Harvey threw that ball up at the end of the game and Jabal threw it down, and that gave him a bit of a lead, and I really enjoyed watching them play.
Well, as we mentioned, this is the second of our Sunday doubleheader. What we are watching here is the game that we saw before this one, arguably the game of the season so far, the two top teams. Guys, we were watching that back in the green room. It was great, wasn't it?
Well, it's what we were after, right? Top two on the ladder, and we've both seen them play such good basketball. So to go on the floor and do that together, DJ misses a shot to win the game. I think it just shows how close the competition is, which is exciting.
Have we fast-forwarded to March?
I know, right? I know.
March, because those two teams bought it today.
Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. Hopefully the second half of this one is to stay with us. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL to Sydney Kings, taking on the Tassie JackJumpers. We'll be right back.
People always ask Rob and I, here they come. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, look at this guy, Rob. He couldn't believe his luck. It's happening live.
Love it, ladies and gentlemen.
Kmart game time.
Low prices. Look at that basketball, $10.
Scan to join us on the fan cam. Thanks to Kmart. Oh, they've got the 100 on the pop box as well. Who else is up here? She's not sure whether to look at the phone or the big screen right now. She's alternating.
Oh, that's a good selfie arm right there. Professional selfie taker. Well done. Oh, they're high up in the stadium.
Thanks for joining us today.
All right, thank you, everyone. Oh, there's Finn. Finn and Marnie, well done. Kmart, game time selfie cam.
Hoops Capital Academy is excited to announce our Term 4 Junior Flames program is now open. For girls ages 8 to 16 years old, this 9-week program offers sessions led by elite coaches and Sydney Flames players. Register your interest today by scanning the QR code that you can see on the screen now. Don't miss out, it is the Junior Flames. Today's stats are proudly brought to you by Ramara. Investments out to perform, it's Ramara. And what about these guys, man? All over the world, the Sydney Kings would like to thank RWS Global, who deliver our fans an epic game day experience. RWS Global is the world leader in delivering groundbreaking live experiences across entertainment and sports. Visit rwsglobal.com.
Ini Maliju, Nadi Rajri, Murumambu, Mujiganga Langbu, Mambu, Boyabu, Nina Rajri Jo, Marambanga, Baladu, Jeremiah Rajri Birang, Brangu Gilang, Mandangu.
Our First Nations culture, it's 65,000 years old. We want all Australians to own that, not just say that's just the Aboriginal culture, but it's Australian culture. My name's Luke Penrith. I'm a proud Rajri man from Brungle, where we are today, but I've also got cultural and spiritual connections to the Gambangari people of the north coast of New South Wales, the Yuin people of the south coast of New South Wales, and the Watchabolik, the Western Victoria mob out that way. The artwork title is Flowing Unity. We're sitting in the backdrop of the Chimit River at the moment. Waterways, creeks, rivers, it's the lifeblood of communities. Like our family, basketball is a part of our life, and across Australia, water is the lifeblood of our country. On this artwork, 90% of it's traditional that's been handed down to me. A lot of my artwork don't have dots. Dots are mainly in Northern Territory, Western Australia. Our people in Rajri, we use a lot of lines and a lot of squiggles, so you'll see a lot of that. So I've been a basketball fan since I was about 4 years old. So I remember vividly going to NBL games when I played country championships in Sydney. It wasn't necessarily about winning or playing, it was just the adventure. You got out of your own community, you played against the best in the region, you made friends. Those are the things that you look back on when you have kids. It's not about the trophies and the medals. Dribble straight up, zigzag, yep. My kids have got aspirations to, play in the NBL one day. I just love watching them. It's very personal to me, being a basketballer growing up. Now watching my kids come through the system and really having fun, you can see them smile, but also they're telling their friends about Dad's doing the artwork for the NBL, so they've got a bit of bragging rights there. But if this encourages other kids, other First Nations people to pick up the ball and have a go at it, I think I've done my job.
Well, the NBL do a great job of celebrating and recognising and acknowledging the Indigenous cultures across Australia, New Zealand and beyond. An Indigenous round with the teams wearing the jerseys. Think back to Danny Morceau in 1979, Michael Armat, and of course more recently Paddy Mills and Bwali Bales and his crew as well this season. But the Kings with a possession arrow and a 5-point buffer here. Just got to wrestle away the momentum from Tassie in quarter number 2, where they outscored them 30-21. They came up empty with the opening play of term number 3. And Tiger Campbell. Hamilton just came off second best in that collision there. Just limping with that ankle, playing with 3 fouls as well. Campbell, shot clock to 5 for Tassie. Against a taller ball Qual, doesn't look likely. Good defensive pressure there from Sydney. It's knocked out of court by Suarez. And Tassie will get another crack at it.
Well, that was a better offence there for Tasmania. At least they got a shot inside the paint and have a chance for the offensive rebound. I didn't think that was great offence from Sydney. Straight out of half-time, a wild 3.
Hamilton defers. Here's Marshall sharing it with Campbell. Swing from Magne, they switch, and now Suarez has got his hands full here as Campbell works baseline. 2 on the shot clock. Bannon fires, knocks it down. There's contact off the ball as well. Magne going down and Bull going down. The 3 will count. And Bull picks up the foul. It's going to be his 2nd personal.
You look shocked, Jace, that it was Bull
I am not shocked at all, but I was actually going to say, I think Josh Bannon's 3-point shooting this year, in past years I would have said you'd be okay as the opposition allowing him to ping away, but he shot at a pretty decent clip this year, and I think he's got some confidence in it, which helps a lot.
So they get the ball back, the JackJumpers. Chance for them to level it up or maybe even take the lead. Hamilton's thinking he's off the money. 6 of 8 in the first half for 13 points. Bryce Hamilton to lead Tassie. Kendrick Davis with 17 leads all scorers. And at the offensive end, Bull makes amends. 7 in the game now for Bull. 2 of 2 from the field. Hamilton, guarded by Cooks. No way past. Here's Marshall wrestling with Davis, who's got his hands full. Ball dislodged, shares it with Bannon. 4 on the shot clock. You're going to have to get it happening pretty quickly. Magne realises the scenario. Let it go quickly, but unsuccessfully. But they get it back again as Hamilton works on Davis, trying to muscle his way past. What a finish!
What a great move.
Oh, as they give up an open dunk.
But you can't have that. If you're Tasmania, outstanding offense, but you can't have a wide open layup for the big man as Will Magne. Xavier Cook says no.
Australian Boomers teammates going at it, and Campbell's going to pick up the foul here. Campbell picks up his 3rd personal. Hamilton already has 3. Kendrick Davis is creating problems for them.
And he's just getting downhill. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but when Kendrick can play half court and beyond and get downhill, I think he just frees up and he's too fast for people. He just is. And it makes defenses collapse. It makes people sit in, and then you start to see Bull get an open 3. And if I'm Tassie right now, I just want to bring it back. I'm going to pick him up in the 3-quarter court as deep as I can and say, beat me in the half court.
Suarez against Magne. Back to Dellavedova. 5 assists in the game for Delhi. Leads that category. Down low, tough shot, but he muscles his way in and comes up with a finish. He's got 7 points now. So Sydney, their biggest lead of the game. Almost 3 minutes played here in this 3rd quarter. Campbell, Bannon, has been taken out of their stuff. Now Magne against Suarez from close range couldn't get it done. Good again today from Suarez. This man's been even better to the oohs and ahs of the crowd. Kendrick Davis takes them on. Couldn't get it to go. Cooks couldn't finish it either.
Got a 5-on-4 here.
Hamilton. It's Bull thought he was fouled. In a conversation with referee Nico Fernandez, who's just shaking his head. Campbell on Davis, goes back to work, asks for Bannon, has to reel it in. Red numbers on the shot clock for Bannon against Cooks. Trying to give it to Magne. And a 3-second violation and a shot clock violation in tandem there on Tassie.
Scrappy few possessions there, Brad.
Yeah, it is. I thought Bannon should have shot that as soon as he got that in the block there. He had a nice possession. And I think we may have just seen a tech foul there. Called on Tasmania. Well.
Yeah, Bryce Hamilton. So that's 4 now. And that's not going to thrill the coach, Scott Roth. He was about to bring Majuk Deng into the game. Habla Espanol, senor.
Did you get that, Brad?
Lost me at hello, but okay.
That's a killer. Because that's his 4th foul.
Oh, well, he picked the wrong man to speak swearing in Spanish to, because Nico Fernandez was all over it. He might have got away with it if it was another referee.
Well, now we understand the explanation as well. It all makes a bit of sense.
Yes. Something tells me he may have known what he was saying and who he was talking to there, Case.
Do we think that might be the first ever technical foul for saying a rude word in another language?
Got to be close, doesn't it? I don't know how you'd pick it out from there.
I never got the chance to say one in that way, so I don't know. But
you weren't smart enough like Ray Borner was, where he went to Billy Mildenhall and said, can I get a foul for what I'm thinking. And he said, of course not. He said, well, I think you're, and you can fill in the blank.
Love that one.
I've heard that story.
Brilliant.
It's a brilliant story.
Here's Galloway putting it on the deck. Nothing on offer. Suarez. Good value, but can't connect there. And Campbell with the rebound. Ding up the floor quickly. Likewise, Nick Marshall in support. And that's going to be basket interference there. Bucket should count here. Whistle on the play, so...
We're just looking at Bryce there talking in the bottom corner there. There's the tech foul. Obviously speaks some Spanish right about now, I'd say. Yep, there it is. Boom, tech foul called.
So Bull Qualls picked up the foul here. But they're not going to count the bucket, which is exactly what Scott Roth was after. Third foul on Bull Quall. Second team foul on Sydney in this quarter. Likewise, Tassie with 2 fouls since half-time. And Nick Marshall to the free throw line. And he's been 62% this season. Averaging 6 points, 5 boards, and shooting the ball at 55% from the field. I thought the move from Adelaide would be a benefit for him. Different surroundings. Jason, he seems to be growing into his role under Scott Roth's coaching.
Yeah, I actually had a chance to talk to Nick after the season, kind of what he was going to do. He's at a point where he's a free agent, and sometimes change is best. You might love where you are, you might be from home, but sometimes getting away, a different environment, can just bring something else, and I think it's doing it for him so far this season.
And we've seen players go to Tasmania under Scott Roth and improve dramatically. So here's Noy, and travelled there. That's the call from Vaughan Mabry. So a 4th turnover for Sydney as we go on to turnover watch. They average 7, which is the best in the comp.
Just hearing you say that, Case, as soon as came to my mind was Denk. Yep. He has a guy that I remember that no one wanted in this league. And look what Scott Roth has done and how he's performed, and he's got a chip with him as well.
Indeed he has. I mean, Chris Levick gets into that category. So another foul on Bull Quall. So that's going to be number 4 for him.
Well, he has frustrated the Tasmania JackJumpers today, and it's really affected them. You can see Hamilton just got a tech for what he felt was Bull Quall holding him, and he'll come out of the game now in the 4th. I don't know, Jace. I reckon I would have just rode him there. Just let him keep going. He's frustrated the players.
I think with his history of fouling, though, I just think you can lose him this early in the game. I think that's the one you just can't risk it with Bull because he plays with physicality.
And this Marshall got a good look, can't convert. Fouled out in the last game against the Phoenix. Bull Quall for the first time this season. Here's Portnoy. Suarez joining in, and from close range, done with a left hand. So he's got 13, only Davis with 17, has more for Sydney.
The one thing Sydney have done here, and Bull's just fouled out, not fouled out, gone to the bench for foul trouble, but when he was on it, it's a group I want to see more of. I think KD being the point with Jalen being the 2 can be a lineup they can get more offense from, and just give 2 guys that are elite getting downhill some time to play together.
Campbell in traffic, worried out of the points, loose ball, Galloway gets after it with a pass, telegraph, and Juk Deng almost came up with it. The Kings will come up with it. I agree, Jason, when you look at the personnel that the Kings have, their first 5 is as good as anyone's in the competition, and if they can get some benefit from their bench as well, I think they're right in the mix. And look, the bookmakers are generally have more intel than anyone, and they have Sydney as the 3rd seed at the moment behind Melbourne and Adelaide. That's how big they are on them, and they have more information than most people.
It's also a lineup I think Zave can be very good in. Obviously, Suarez is playing really great basketball right now, and so him being on the floor makes sense, but... Oh, Nico. As they all want to contest the call.
Ben Eyre and Kendrick Davis in a good contest there. Initially, Nico Fernandez was going to give it to Sydney and then realised he was pointing the wrong way.
Not the right time to do it, right in front of the Tasmania bench there. Only all 9 of them jumped up.
But yeah, back to Zave. I just think this is a lineup where maybe Zave can find a rhythm. Delhi naturally is such a guy sets up the offense and really takes control of the game. But with this group, with so many dynamic threats, Zave can handle it a little bit. So I would like to see him as a roller with naturally a lot of guys around that can shoot.
It's Magnay against Suarez, muscles up and comes up with a finish as well. 9 in the game now for Will Magnay on 4 of 7 from the field. Margin is 5. Been a grind here since half-time, played almost 6 minutes, and defense has been on top. Galloway, a height advantage on Starks, gets a screen, and knocks down the 3. First triple of the game for Galloway.
Let's go, Sydney.
Kings with their biggest lead of the game. Now to an 8-point edge here. We saw Jalen Galloway pick up the Asia Cup MVP and also All-Star 5. He hit 18 threes at 62% while away, and we'd like to get him back into providing those numbers here in the NBL.
I played with him in the off-season case, and I've known Jalen a long time, but this is the first time I've really been around him for a period of time and seen him week to week. And I think he's been working so hard on it that it's almost you forget what you're elite at. You're elite downhill. Now, if you can combine it all, you've got a very good offensive player.
Yeah, he seems one of those players to me that he needs to get downhill, get on the rim, do those now the three drops rather than just planting yourself in the corner and hope you get the ball to shoot a three.
And that's the thing with a mix of their group too. Sometimes that's all he sees is KD knocks down another three to add to his tally. But when you're playing with Delly, Zave, KD, you've got all these guys that handle. Sometimes you don't look, you can get his catch and shoot, and that's where I feel for Sydney. If you can find a mix of giving him the ball, it might just help open him up.
The Kings have knocked down 3 of 5 from deep in this quarter. The margin is out to 9.
Well, the Kings have an opportunity. Hamilton's on 4. This is where you wanted Zave, and I agree with you here, Jace. They got Zave in this game.
Starks off the mark. It's after the loose ball and keeps it alive. Now in a confined space. Marshall may have travelled. Turnover number 8 for Tassie. Kings have 5.
That's one for Nick. I think you shoot that. It's come off a kick out. It's been a bit messy. Feet set. Let it fly.
So the Kings in the driver's seat at the moment. Looking to take Tasmania's 4th spot on the ladder with a win here. After they lost by 17 against the Phoenix on Thursday night. Foul going to be called on Magnay off the ball. So that's his first personal.
Wow, well, obviously, Coach Roth is seeing something that he's not happy offensively, because to bring Hamilton in right now with 3 minutes to go in the third, that is a very big call.
Rolling the dice.
Yeah, I think he's kind of seen they're losing control of the game here, and it might be too late where you've sat him. It's a risk, but you're down 9 going into the three-quarter time break here.
Galloway takes them on, can't convert. Ding grabs the loose ball. It's a brave move from Scott Roth. Obviously has a lot of confidence in Bryce Hamilton. Here's Ben Eyre. Caught a little deep. Ding. Low board and is fouled by Galloway, so more free throws to come. First personal for Jalen Galloway. Kings over the limit. Tassie with 3 fouls in this quarter.
If you want free hungry, Jack has a chance.
So the question for the Kings now is these 2 free throws is, how do you isolate Hamilton on the defensive end or the Kings offensive end, because he's not going to want to foul. So they've got to be able to run something here, depending on who he's guarding, to isolate him on a one-on-one and be able to take him.
So Dellavedova with it. 2.5 to play, term number 3. Kings on top after Tassie had a 7-point lead in the opening term and also in the second quarter as well. Shot clock to 10. Cooks shares it with Malawatch, and he fires over the top of Hamilton. Kept the line by Cooks, and he was bumped by Magnay. So that's a 4th team foul on Tassie in this quarter, as Magnay picks up his 2nd personal.
You found your situation right there too, Brad.
And he needed up, fake and go.
He had him in a closeout situation, and it's not a bad shot, but when you've got that guy that's their main guy closing out here, and maybe that's a bit of a veteran play too, but Mel, you've got to understand that's where you just rip and put on the ring, because you know he's going to open up because he does not want to foul.
Magnay sits down, and Josh Bannon rejoins us. Magnay with 11 points, 2 rebounds so far, after he was dominant when these teams played 11 days ago before being ejected.
Jace, I find it hard. Baseline and sideline out of bounds, the amount of turnovers, deflections that go on. Is it just they're bigger and longer now? Is it we don't set screens? Like something just... I don't see people hit someone in a screen like we used to open up someone.
I think you're seeing a mix of it, and also the scout that goes into out-of-bounds plays now is massive. It's almost what you scout more than anything, because some teams really do utilise it.
Galloway ready to go. He's feeling confident now. 10 in the game for Galloway. Third Sydney Kings into double digits. And the margin's in double digits for the first time in the game as well. Tassie with some work to do inside the last 2 minutes. They coughed it up. Dellavedova feeds it quickly. Malawatch muscles his way past and then couldn't hit the target, but a whistle on the play. So free throws to come here. And the foul called on Majuk Ding, his second personal. It's just starting to unravel a little bit here for Tassie. They led for 15.5 minutes in the first half to Sydney's 3.
I'll tell you, from that angle, it was not easy to see. I'm not sure what Deng did wrong there.
Xavier Cooks to the free throw line. And he's caught that a little deep. As we know, he's had his problems. 8 of 30 at 27%. I suggested on X this week that maybe he should go the granny style between the legs.
Richie Cunningham.
Oh, work for Rick Barry. He shot it at 90%. Yeah. No one's ever done it since, although it is becoming very popular in Asia. So the way he's shooting it, he's got guys around him, as I mentioned. Courtnoy, 16 of 18 at 90%. He takes tips from them. It seems to be affecting other areas of his game as well.
It's definitely mental for Zave at the moment. He's got there and he's thinking about it, overthinking about it. And it's one of those things. I've seen Zave shoot the ball. He's not a terrible shot of the ball.
Oh, he's just got the yips at the moment. Hamilton off the mark. So a chance here for Sydney to expand the margin. Double digits, and Galloway takes them on, gets it done, and a chance at a three-point play as we go courtside to Joe Healy.
Yeah, thanks, Kay. So I just wanted to talk about the JackJumpers briefly. Obviously, you guys have mentioned the fact that they're in foul trouble. Scott Rolfe told me before the game that a big focus for them today was their foul discipline, especially on the road. Based on what we've seen so far, is this a JackJumpers internal issue, or is it the Kings that are forcing them into the fouls based on their aggression?
It's a little bit of both, I think. I think Tassie, it's become a physical game, but they're also, Sydney have actually started, they're shooting the ball a bit better, which is allowing them to create rotations. And I wanted to go back, we spoke about Jalen here. This is probably the biggest patch of basketball we've seen him play. We speak about subbing too much at times. We've actually watched Jalen in the last 6 or 7 minutes play that whole block, and he's found rhythm where he's got himself quite quickly up to 13 points.
Cooks did a good job to stay in front of Hamilton, and then at the last minute bailed him out, and he's off to the stripe.
I think that's a great point you make, Jason. He's just the way he is. Obviously, you know him better than most because of what you said in the offseason. He is a confidence player, like most people in this league. Coming off the Asia Cup, like how amazing he was, you just haven't seen that transform, but we're seeing a little bit of it here now.
Don't forget Indigenous Round. You can get around it as well at the NBLstore.com.au. The Kings Indigenous Round jersey designed in collaboration with Stu James. Their design all about identity and going forward in life. You have to know who you are and where you came from. So every team is doing it. Get around at NBLstore.com.au or the QR code there on your screen as well.
One of my favourite rounds, Case. I used to love each year seeing what the jersey was going to be, and wherever I was, we used to bring people in. They would tell us a story about how and what and the different features to it, and you could just see how much meaning the jersey had, especially from the person who created it. But as a group, we used to love the experience of it as well.
Did you get to keep them?
We did, and I kept every single one of mine.
You did, yeah, great.
Love to see the collection. So Tassie off the mark here, inside the last 60 seconds, term number 3. And it's got away from them. It was 5 the difference at half-time, and just 14 points for Tassie in this term. And the Kings have opened up a healthy buffer. Kendrick Davis wanted it back, and Courtnoy decided to pull the trick. Now the foul's on Bannon. That's going to send Goodrick to the free throw line.
Well, this is what he's been brought into the game for and what they signed him for as well. He's just one of those NBL 1 banger-style guys that just sets good screens, crashes the glass. And this will be great for Brian Goorjian just to be able to get his big men some rest, and he goes to the free throw line for 2 shots.
First time to the stripe in the NBL for Hunter Goodrick as well. Came in as the injury replacement player. And Kelly Lepepe was injured, and Jason Spurgeon as well. But in the NBL 1 East, the North Sydney Bears, 17 points, 12 boards a game. I mean, they're good numbers.
Just a workhorse. He wears a good number too, Brad.
I love that. Previous number 5s at the Kings shot the ball a little better from the free throw line. No burgers, of course. You need the away team if you want free hungry Jacks.
There's a good one if you miss it from home, teams. Free chips.
Davis against Marshall, the two Adelaide players. And Courtney again ready to fire, and that's why he knocks down another. He's got 12 points in the game.
And this is the pressure that KD can create on teams. But Juk Deng sits too long when you're guarding Courtney. You can't do that. And it's because of KD's pressure on the rim.
Hamilton under pressure. Ball knocked out of court by Galloway, so the Kings are feeling good about themselves at the moment.
Yeah, great call, Case. Up and in on the defence. Look at where Tasmania are having to make their sets. 2 and 3, nearly halfway now. It's been up and in for the Kings.
10 seconds left here in this term. Pass knocked down by Courtney. Davis has got support on the other wing. Oh, dang! What a defensive play! Shut down the offense from McWatch Malawatch. And with 2 and a bit seconds left on the clock, Tassie can have a last crack here.
Well, here's the replay here. Watch Deng. Oh, wow, that's just great timing. Meets him at the rim and says no way.
Well, was good timing, wasn't it? Now Ben Air from three-quarter court going to come up empty. And we turn for home with the Sydney Kings expanding their lead. They led by 5 at halftime. They've opened up a 15-point edge here with 1 to play. It's Sydney 79, Tassie 64. More for you in just a moment.
That's a nice strike, and she's keeping it up to one leg. Here we go, she's in the running so far. Oh, it's between these two. Who do you want, this one or the other one? All right, this one, she wins it, Rob. You win it. You can move now, you've won the camera. Thanks to Harvey Norman and supported by Kenneth.
Yes, yes, yes. Let me see if anyone can do the Macarena out there. Let's go, 186, let's get it.
Still a quarter to play here in Sydney. Kendrick Davis, Quatnoy, Jalen Galloway leading the way for the Kings. Brian Goorjian knows his troops have their eye in, but is well aware of the threat of the JackJumpers. He told his team defense has been everything. Do not take your foot off the pedal now.
Thanks, Joe. They've done a very good job of it since quarter time. Tassie had 29 at quarter time, and they've scored 35 since then in the 2 quarters. And they need something early, and they get it there, although Hamilton's rolled his ankle in the process here. He tweaked it a little earlier, and he's come up a little second hand. Let's hope he's okay playing with those 4 fouls as well after picking up a tee in the 3rd term. Jalen Galloway was the man for Sydney in that quarter, and there he is from behind. Galloway had 11 of the Kings' 24 in the 3rd term. And that's 13, which equals his season best. Actually came against the JackJumpers when they last played. So Sydney cough it up again. Rare turnover for them, just their 4th. And a chance for Tassie. Ben Air ready to go. With a 3-ball off the mark. Magne the O-board against Suarez. Bannon shut down in a confined space. Hamilton gets it back from Ben Air. Red numbers on the shot clock now. Works inside, nothing on offer. They feed Marshall baseline. He can't connect, and Davis gets after the loose ball rebound. And he bit off a lot there, Kendrick Davis, and now he's harassed and surrounded. And possession arrow is going to be with Sydney.
Yeah, Tasmania started out there at the quarter. Just both teams taking some shots there, trying to knock it down. Here's the rolled ankle here that we will see on the right there. We have seen so many. You can't not watch. That's the problem. But we've seen a number of those this year.
They're the ones where you just kind of leave your feet and you don't know what's underneath you in those packs. He's done well to walk it off, but it might be a little bit sore tomorrow once the adrenaline wears off.
Davis, who's set the platform here for the Kings so far, and he continues to be impressive. He's up to 22 now, coming off 31 on Thursday night against the Phoenix. Not the answer so far. Just holding Tassie off at arm's length. Bannon takes it from Marshall, works against Cooks from close range. Bannon adds to the tally. He's got 13. Only Hamilton with 18 has more for Tassie. Oh, he travelled.
Apparently not, Case.
And here's Dellavedova, muscles his way past Ben Air. The floater wouldn't work. Cook's got a piece of it, kept it alive with the O-board, couldn't get enough on the shot. A pivotal moment in the game.
Yeah, big couple of minutes here, you're right, Case. Tasmania, they'll get back to their sets.
Grabbing some momentum here, Tassie. They need to make it on the scoreboard fit as well. Double dribble violation called on Hamilton. Tasmania turn it over for the 11th time in the game. That's their season average. So warning on Ben Air from Nico Fernandez was the explanation for Scott Roth. 2 minutes played in the final quarter. Top 4 spot on the line here between Sydney and Tassie. A little earlier today, Melbourne continued their undefeated run as Galloway comes up with another triple. His 3rd of the game and a season-high 16 in the game.
And this is why, Brad, this is why I think we need to see him with the ball a bit more. He's just really starting to take those steps which you see some guys take, where they just demand the ball because they can make stuff happen.
Shot clock rolls down now. Red numbers for Hamilton, a long way from the cup. Magne, poor pass. He was under pressure there and tossed it away. They're going to bring Tiger Campbell back quick smart.
Well, that was a good defensive set, a good double, and then the ball went to the high post, but Delhi from the weak side, which is very uncharacteristic, as Brian Goorjian will call timeout here. The weak side came in, real good help by Delhi that caused the turnover.
JackJumpers 68, our Sydney Kings 84. Get ready for an unforgettable post-game experience.
They've been impressive from the Kings. I mean, they were challenged here, weren't quite sure what to expect coming off that 17-point loss to the Phoenix on Thursday night.
Also enjoy 20% off.
But they've answered the charge here. Bullquall back into the starting lineup has helped, and they've just taken Tassie out of their comfort zone, particularly in terms number 2 and 3.
Well, you said it before, Brad. Should we be surprised, though? Because this is right up Sydney's alley of win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. And you also said it before, Case. We know the talent's there. They just haven't been able to show it night in, night out at the moment. How can they repeat this? Because this version of the Kings that we're seeing right now, we've seen in Adelaide, we've seen it against New Zealand. There's so much talent there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for coming out.
Brian Goorjian and the Sydney Kings with a healthy buffer here. Game high 16-point lead. 7:29 to play. Next 2 games on the road for Sydney. Off to Brisbane next Friday night, and then in Melbourne on Sunday. As I was mentioning, Melbourne winning against Adelaide, coming from behind, knocked down a 3 from Walker to get the win against Adelaide, 81-80, and go 9-0 on the ladder. Adelaide 5-2, surrendering second to the Phoenix, who are 5-2, and the winner of this game, it'll be in 4th spot. So pressure up the floor from Tassie, but the Kings break it down, and they get Suarez an open look. Front and back of the rim there, and it jumped out. So incumbent on the JackJumpers to be proactive here. They need points. Offense has dried up since quarter time largely. They're hamstrung by Hamilton's foul problems and Campbell's as well. And that's aggressive work there coming from Nick Marshall. And that's going to be Nick Marshall's first score in this quarter. And his 2nd bucket since half-time. Kings go to Cooks. Aggressively takes on Magnay. There was a lot there. Magnay suggesting we might want to challenge this. Going to be a 3rd personal on Magnay.
That's some of the action you can see with Zave. When he's got the ball at the top, like KD, just instead of zipper cutting up there, he just decides to set that little brush screen. And it just allows Zave to get heavy down on his right hand and make plays at the rim. Now he's got to make some free throws to help that.
But also the key there, Jason, you mentioned it. He needs space, and sometimes the Kings, because they've got guys standing around, the defenders can be there. That time with the action away from the ball, it then enables him to have literally the whole half court, and it's nearly almost unstoppable sometimes when he's like that.
Woes continue for Xavier Cooks from the free throw line. That's 1 of 4. But the last one just rattling around and eventually tumbling. But the margin's 15. Less than 7 to play here. The JackJumpers have got some work to do. Campbell, one way, back the other, nothing on offer. Bannon decides to fire the 3. Quick release. Well done, Davis. Get Marshall out of the way and grab the rebound.
We'll give that to Galloway. That was outstanding defense. Slid really well to the right and made sure Campbell could not get near the rim.
Davis, well, you want to Dellavedova. They shot the pass, so deflected out. Well, referee Travis Stewart thought it was last touch. Didn't see it myself. Scott Rothko reluctant to challenge. Will Magnay saying challenge. And Vaughan Mabry had seen it clearly though and gave it back to Tassie without them needing a challenge. So
from my angle, I thought that was the right call. It just looked like he overthrew it.
Yeah.
I did notice it was right near you, and you put your hands up to have a shot, Jace, too.
I thought it was last year over again.
Marshall aggressively against Suarez, tried to throw it down on him, draws a foul, and he goes to the free throw line. Davis picks up his 3rd personal, came off 2nd best against his former Adelaide teammate as well. He's a rare athlete, Nick Marshall. You'd like to see him encouraged to do that even more than he does.
We would have liked that one to go down.
Yeah. But just on Tim Suarez there's no need to be hugging him in that position. Just take a step back. His strength is his athleticism getting to the hoop. You don't need to really put that pressure on.
Been good from the stripe in this game, Tassie. 17 of 19, 90%. Kings 10 of 17 in the 50s. And just get the impression they're about to mount a charge here, Scott Roth's team. Pressure up the floor on the Kings. They lead by 13, Sydney, in front of the home faithful here at Kudos Bank Arena. Again, Dellavedova trapped on the halfway line. Pass almost reeled in by Magnay, deflected onto Galloway and out of court. So good pressure again from Tassie.
Well, they're doing a good job. I'm just wondering how long it is before you go again with Deng. He's been a big player for them at times, and is it time to insert him?
One for you, Brad. How have you found Stark obviously coming in as injury replacement is a little bit like for like as Nick bangs another 3 down? How do you think they've done that? Because I feel like they've almost struggled to find cohesion of when and who he sits in with.
It's a real interesting one, Jace, that you say that, because it's like, I'll play you, but I don't want you to get too comfortable because I don't know how long you're going to be here for. but then again, you want to win games. So it is a difficult one, and I haven't seen it comfortable yet, like you're saying.
And that's exactly what my question is alluding to, because tonight he can't score. He just strikes me as a guy who can get buckets, but he's not going to be here for long.
And Bannon holds off Suarez to get the rebound. Coming hard at the moment. 7-1 is the run for Tassie in the last 2 minutes, and Bannon's drawing a foul. Second team foul on Sydney in this term. And number 4. So that's not good news for Suarez. Fulqual already playing with 4. Courtney is going to check in, and they'll try and protect Suarez here with 5:06 to play. Can't afford to lose Suarez. 11 points for Suarez. 3 assists in the game as well. 5 rebounds. As we count down the last 5 minutes here, Campbell defers. Bannon game ready to pull the trigger and knocks down another 3. And here they come back to within 7. And Brian Goorjian says, no, let's have a stop to this. Bannon flexing on them here as Tassie drag it back to just 7 points.
Well, we knew it was going to come. They're too good not to have a run, and Scott Roth and his team are ready. They've had 9 days off, and they are ready to make a run home. We'll go in and listen to them today. Right now, I should say, and they look very good.
I'm on top of the fucking floor, right? I'm on top of it. Staying to 77. Whoever Davis has is a second screener. So if this is Davis, we're this way and JB's in a corner. And wait long enough to get out of there. And then we're downhill. And be patient, yep. How do you want that screen? I want it lower, like around the three-point line. Because they're trying to get under and get back. No more dogs. Just goes if we have it, but we're up the line. If they shoot an early 3, don't worry about it. Just stay poised. Pick them away here. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
Well, Scott Roth with the instructions. It's working for them at the moment. They're on a 10-1 run in the last 2.5 minutes. Amy Morgan and Mia Madden in the Pump by Reebok seats courtside for getting in the zone as well. I know Mia, it's an Australian actress and presenter. In the Sapphires and Redfern now. Clearing, and more recently Paper Dolls. And Amy Morgan, well, content she's creating for Instagram, TikTok and other areas is worth checking out. And they've got front row seats to a great contest. Trust you're enjoying it as well, wherever you may be watching Mount Australia and beyond. And the D from Magnay was solid as he throws Dellavedova's shot out of there. 5 blocks to 1 in favour of Tassie. The Kings have got 7 seconds on the shot clock here. And the offense has dried up for them over the last 3 minutes. Treat to Noy against Bannon. Puts it on the deck. Tried to step beyond him, but Bannon wasn't buying it. They shut the Kings down again. Campbell for Hamilton. Working on Galloway. And a blocking foul call. Now, Kendrick Davis wants it challenged. He's picked up his 4th personal. 3rd team foul on Sydney in this term, with the video man's under pressure again.
They're going to challenge it.
Well, Kendrick Davis was demanding it, but he's not the first player to do that and not get it right.
People say there's pressure on an NBL referee. It compares nothing to the guy that has to make the decision to call it.
And you know why too? Because if he gets it wrong, the playing group's on him. If he gets it right, the playing group loves him. From my point of view, Brad, I thought that was a charge. I thought he got there ahead of time, as we're about to see it. And this would also be Bryce Hamilton fouling out of the game.
Oh, just he lifts that right leg a little bit. Does Kendrick Davis moving slightly to the left, maybe?
It's a big call.
That's how tough it is, because this is slow motion. Yeah. And with multiple replays, and we're still a little unsure as to which way this should be called. In real speed, you'd think that's a charge, and that was your initial reaction, Jason.
Oh, yeah, I think that's going to be a charge.
I do too. He was definitely moving a little bit, but he got there just in time.
Well, the coach's challenge is successful. That's massive because it's an offensive foul.
So he's out of the game.
Going to be out of the game. Hamilton fouls out here. And there goes the leading scorer for Tassie with 18 points a game. And he is out of the game, fouling out for the first time this season.
Do they go? Are they going to Ben Air? This is where I was going to say maybe this is a time to put Stark in the game, another creator who can get busy because you're down and you're chasing.
And that's where that technical foul that Hamilton picked up in the third quarter becomes expensive.
Great call.
Saw some dialogue on social media about it and the texts that are being handed out. Some people suggesting a little too easily. Well, actually, if you don't do the crime, you don't do the time. I know it's easy for me as a non-player to sit here and offer advice, not in the heat of battle, but take it out of the hands of the referees. Portnoy fires. Tapped away by Magnate. Ben Air. So they've still got momentum here, Tassie, but they trail by 7. A little over 4 minutes left in the contest. Made all the early running. 9-2 to start the game, Tassie. Oh, pass from Marshall picked off. Galloway saw it coming and threw it down with authority. Galloway with his best game of the season's up to 18 on 7 of 9 shooting, and another offensive foul is called on Tassie.
Well, that's a couple of poor possessions there by Tasmania. Beautiful steal here. Jace, you've been calling for it. This has been his best game of the season by far.
And you speak about athletes. We've got a challenge here, and this will be interesting as well.
Well, from that angle right there, I think that's going to be a successful challenge. He looked like he was...
I think he flopped.
Threw himself back, yep.
But Jalen, going back to Jalen just quickly, if you speak about one of the best athletes Australia has, geez, he's got to be up there because he's just the way he moves and his ability to get off the ground and finish. We don't see a lot of it. Nathan Sobey's one of the more elite athletes we've ever seen, but Jalen's got that athleticism that kind of makes people go, ooh, when he jumps. Yeah.
He's been promised a lot for a long time, hasn't he? Was runner-up most improved player in 2024. We know he spent time that season with the Milwaukee Bucks as well. And there's the coach's challenge, as you can see.
Just feels like he's going sideways there.
I just think the throw of the head is maybe what will make him reverse it for a block. If not a referee, but he just sells it almost too much with that.
Only thing is, you see Campbell's right arm extends there a little bit, right there.
Oh, jeez. Well, he's playing with 4 fouls as well, Tiger Campbell. So it's going to be a charge. It won't be changed. So charging foul on Tiger Campbell, and he's out of the game, and Scott Roth loses the coach's challenge. So Tiger Campbell is going to foul out for the first time this season as well. Well, that is... Well, maybe I'm just one step ahead here, and that's his 4th personal. I looked up, and they'd actually put that foul.
It was already on him.
From earlier. So, yeah, so that's 4. My mistake. With Sydney by 9, less than 4 minutes to play. And Dellavedova gives it up to Cooks. They can be patient here. Play at their own pace. Shot clock rolls to single digits. Cooks in traffic. Here comes Galloway. Oh, he's dunking all over them at the moment. He's up to 20. Career best 22's in some danger here. But Jalen Galloway started slowly, had just 2 at half-time. 18 since then as Campbell, exploring with the left hand, comes up with a finish. He's got 10 points in the game. His first score since half-time.
It's now or never for Tassie here. They need to get a couple of stops. They've lost that momentum they really had at the start of the 4th.
Yeah, look at really, Sydney can do whatever they want. There's no pressure on them here, not like it was before.
Davis stares down. Nick Marshall fires. Can't connect. Bannon the rebound. So off and running now, Tassie. Time of the essence. 2.5 to play. Down 9. Bannon fires. Yes. 19 in the game now for Bannon. Back to 2. So 18 for Bannon. Margin is at 7. Again, Sydney will milk the clock here. Inside Cooks once more. Feeds Dellavedova. Red numbers on the shot clock for Davis. He wants to take Magnay on again. He made hard work of it, can't convert, and Bannon puts a stop to it. Tassie coming again. Air. Marshall. Well, Magnay had a seal down low, and they get it to him now against Kendrick Davis in the mismatch. The double team arrives, and Kendrick Davis reaching in really didn't need to commit the foul. It's his 4th and 3rd team foul on Sydney in this quarter.
Well, that is a good foul. It just stops the clock. It made him not be able to make a move. Magnay all kick it opposite, so now they can set up properly. And we'll see a timeout here from Tasmania.
Scott Roth calls timeout. 1:53 to play. Sydney by 7. You just can't count Tassie out at any stage. So good on the road. 3-2 so far this season, Tassie. And in their 4 completed seasons in the NBL, only once in those 4 years have they had a better home record than they have on the road. And we know how good they are at home and the amount of noise the Tassie fans provide, but they've really been able to get the job done on the road at crucial times. Credit to Scott Roth and all the program down there in Tassie. This is going to be tough from here. Kings, though, just a little gun shy and slowing that down out of their rhythm, just trying to protect the lead a little bit.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that. Like, you still want to be able to play, I thought. But I can also see how it is. But right now, where do you go? Do you go to Bannon, who's hit 2 big threes, Jace? Do you go to Campbell, who's been solid coming off the on-ball?
I think with the group they've got on now, you've got Nick and Benier who can spot up, but I think that action's got to be between the 3 guys you just mentioned. Get them involved in an action and see what you can find.
JackJumpers, of course, in action in the Ignite Cup next Wednesday night at My State Bank Arena against Perth, and they back up on Saturday as well, entertaining Cairns. Ignite Cup, already Tassie with a big win over Sydney last week in the Ignite Cup, where they picked up 6 of the 7 points. And here's Magnay down low against Suarez. They forced him into a tough shot, but he gets it done, Will Magnay. 13 for Magnay now. His first score in this quarter, and the margin is cut to 5. Again, the Kings being patient with it. Cooks. Now Galloway. Inside, dishes outside for Dellavedova, working on bent air. Shot clock, the red numbers. Delhi fires, can't connect. Oh, Cooks over the back of Tiger. Campbell kept it alive with the O-board. Big play from Xavier Cooks. 18 offensive rebounds now for Sydney. 11 for Tassie. Suarez got Magnay jumping at him, but can't connect. So Campbell brings Tassie forward as we move inside the last 60 seconds here. It's a 5-point game. The last 2 games in the Hungry Jacks NBL have been decided by a point. It's Magnay. Draws a foul on Suarez, and Suarez is out of the game. That's number 5 for him as well.
Well, that is the way to run the floor for a big man. Puts himself on the rim, they get it to him. Suarez couldn't be able to cope with the drive center, and Magnay went up strong. And that is an outstanding play to be able to, hey, look at this, just takes his time, gives him a little fake base, and then goes middle. And there's the foul there and there. And now he'll go to the line, 4-2. I think they're just checking here to make sure that there's no goaltending of any type.
I was about to say, it did look like he grabbed the net. I couldn't work out if it was Will's hand or his hand on that layup.
The replay center just having a look at this as well. Well, maybe they're going to count the 2 here. It might be a 3-point play.
Yes, they have.
And basket interference, so the foul. Well, Suarez out of the game for the 2nd time this season, having fouled out here against Melbourne in round 4. And he exits the game, 11 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. So that just adds another wrinkle here. Magnay to the free throw line. 1 of 1 so far in this game. Misses that one though, but a loose ball and deflected out of bounds by Xavier Cook. So Tassie get it back here. Margin cut to 3.
Right here, right now.
Sydney led 84-68. So it's 18-5 in the last 7 minutes in favour of Tassie.
Defense.
All the momentum with them. Need a big shot. This Ben Air bounces off the defenders. Magnay rolling to the hoop. They want him involved. The big man Dellavedova tried to foul him quickly. He went aggressively to make sure the whistle was coming before the shot went up.
Well, it's 2 free throws anyway because the Kings have got 4 fouls. So if anything, smart move from Delhi just so he couldn't throw it up at least, but even have a chance of a 3-point play.
Yeah, they're going to talk about it, but at the end of the day, I think that was a basketball foul. He just didn't give him the chance. If he just slaps at it and Will still goes up, you do the classic guy, should have wrapped him up. He wrapped him up, didn't let him go up. And now Will has to go to the line and make 2. And then we really have an interesting thing going down the other end because they're going to have to come up with something good offensively.
Well, he's only a 53% free throw shooter. Maybe it'll be Burgess.
Hungry Jacks, you reckon?
So...
normal foul has been called, so Magnay will go to the line for 2, and that's Delhi's second.
It's been a real arm wrestle this game, with Tassie on top early, led by 4 at quarter time. Kings took over the lead by 5 at the half. Extended that margin to 15 in the third quarter, and had Tassie right where they wanted them. But the JackJumpers are coming hard at the moment. And Magnay does send them home with Burgers as well. So open up the NBL app. Overtime is the word you need.
Oh, Case, you might know something we don't. Overtime. Love it.
Just click on the Hungry Jacks banner, put the code word in, and you've got until 6 o'clock tomorrow to claim a free cheeseburger at participating Hungry Jacks stores.
Oh, tomorrow, on the way home.
Dinner tonight is sorted. And Jack's sitting next to us. I might ask if we get some fries for the commentators while we're making a meal.
And Magnay provides the burgers. Pressure up the floor, surprisingly here. And the JackJumpers with 14 fouls in this quarter as well. Trying to play this up straight. They want to stop. And then a 3. Tired away. Dellavedova against Marshall. Muscles his way past. Goes to Cooks, who looks at the shot clock. He wanted Davis. The pass was off the mark. Somehow came to Galloway. He can't produce the finish. So a chance for Tassie. Last roll of the dice. They're down 3. Down by as many as 16 in this quarter. They needed 3 more to tie it away. Ben Air is fouled by Dellavedova. So free throws to come here. Over the limit, Sydney, and Ben Air goes to the stripe. That's not a bad move.
I love that from Delhi. Hands on the head like, oh no, I didn't mean to foul him. But we knew what you were doing, Delhi, but smart Case. You give up a 3, chance to foul, and now you're just going to make free throws to win out the game.
Well, does Ben Air contemplate missing the second here?
They've still got a timeout to go, so I don't think you need to. I think you make 2, and then obviously I think they'd love to foul Zave if possible, but I'd imagine Zave won't be near the basketball.
He'll take the ball out. That's what you would think.
Ben Air in game number 100, a perfect 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Makes it a 1-point ball game. Kings will restart here. And Brian Gorgian's going to chat about it first. And great fight back from 16 down in this quarter, Tassie, to close to within a single point and give themselves a chance.
We spoke about Super Sunday basketball.
Yeah, wow. 2 amazing games.
A little earlier today, Melbourne over Adelaide, 81-80 was the final, with Tyson Walker knocking down a 3-ball to win it and make it 9-0 at the top of the ladder for Melbourne.
I think he did it because he was maybe like grabbing, you are fouling.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the ball yet. But I think Delhi was doing a bit of acting.
Well, the key here is obviously to get the ball here to Kendrick is what you want from free throw.
This is what happened a little earlier this afternoon. Adelaide had the lead in possession. Chris Golding forced an over and back on DJ Vasiljevic. First shot from Milton Doyle was off the mark, and Tyson Walker in the corner knocks down the three, and Melbourne go 9-0 and equal their franchise record. Game of the season so far. DJ not too far off the mark for Adelaide, so they'll learn a lot from that. But those two teams at the moment, 1 and 2 on the ladder. And full credit to Melbourne United, is still doing this without Defensive Player of the Year Shea Ili, and Golding coming off that injury and just starting to warm to the occasion. And see Scott Roth, if Sydney score, he wants timeout. He's got one left. Kings out of timeouts. Kings to restart. Dellavedova guarded by Magnay. Eventually finds Courtnoy, reaching in. Marshall's going to send Court to the free throw line. As mentioned earlier, he's a 90% free throw shooter this season, Courtnoy, and 2 of 2 in this game. So that's who they wanted the ball to go to. They got their man.
They made it quite obvious too. They ran an action.
Yeah. This game has had a little bit of everything, hasn't it?
We've seen some great plays, and that one in Perth last night where John really drew up to be able to get Pepper in the corner there, or there's in this one. Pepper corner 3 that tied the game up.
After he'd missed his first 7.
Unbelievable. That was a great,
gutsy,
great out of bounds play. So Tasmania could potentially get the chance here to do something similar.
Well, nervous Courtnoy misses from the stripe for the first time in the game. And he's caught that deep as well. Oh, between the Magnay and Bannon, had it and lost it out of court. Oh, we'll roll this again. Kings restart. Tassie foul.
Do you go back to Quad, Jace, or go to Kendrick?
I know who'd be trying to get the ball right now. It's the guy you said second.
The Cooks to restart. Oh, the poor pass picked off by Magnay. Now Ben Air charging up. They've got Marshall working hard from close range. Oh, knocks it down right on the buzzer. Nick Marshall has not only knocked it down, but he's won the game from nowhere. 16 down in the last quarter. They're going to have a look at it, but it seems as though Tasmania have stolen it here on the buzzer.
Oh my! What did we just witness?
Well,
this is
to me,
amazing.
There is no question. Yep, they've counted it, and it's
count
over.
The bucket, and it's over. And Tassie, with a great escape, have stolen it from the Sydney Kings, with Nick Marshall getting it done as time expired.
Well, we talk about these baseline and sidelines. We were just talking about it earlier, Jason, how people turn the ball over. We've seen it, and Tasmania have a knack of doing this in games.
Well, we've seen it done before, and in one of the biggest games of all in the grand final series. But yeah, Sydney, that's a tough one. They controlled the game for most of it.
Hard to come to terms with for the Sydney Kings. They outscored 22-5 in the last 7 minutes by Tassie. They blow a 16-point lead in the last quarter. That's the biggest fourth quarter comeback we've seen this season, and for some time as well.
That's a hell of a finish by Nick Marshall too. He still had some work to do there, and he took his time and took the bump, and I dare say it, I think that might be Nick Marshall's first game winner in the NBL, and what a one to do it.
Well, look how happy they are, and rightly so. 9 days off. They didn't love the way they played against New Zealand and have come out here, and like you said, Case, they had no right to win that game with the way the Kings were playing, and that man there, Nick Marshall, but look at the footlocker player of the game, Josh Bannon, again, was fantastic for Tasmania.
Well, let's get some reaction courtside here with Joe.
What a moment, and I have the man of the moment, Nick Marshall. Talk me through that last play. What is going through your mind?
I mean, I was just trying to get on the rim. That's it, really. Find a way to just get that bucket. But yeah, that was crazy.
First game winner at this level?
Yeah, definitely.
You guys obviously down by 15 at one point in that fourth quarter. Where did you dig that from? How proud are you of this group?
Yeah, we just found a way, kept getting stops, and yeah, made it happen. Kept fighting like JackJumpers do, and yeah, we made it happen.
Massive game for some of your teammates as well. Bryce Hamilton in particular. Talk to me about the impact that he's having.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a season. Yeah, we just all found a way to chip in and got it done.
Massive win for you guys. Congratulations again, Healy.
Well, Nick Marshall, the hero, on the buzzer. Kings get it served up to them here by Tassie, who beat them for the second time in 11 days. What a finish. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this as we relive the winning shot and play. The Cooks inbound stolen by Magnate. And Nick Marshall, hard to the rim, takes the contact, knocks down the shot, buzzer expires. Well, what a finish. Back to wrap it up right after this.
Bar and kitchen. Not only will you have the opportunity to snag autographs from your favourite players, but you'll also enjoy 20% off all food and drinks. The brewery is located just a quick 5 to 10 minute walk under the Novotel on Olympic Boulevard.
Ladies and gentlemen, to present the MVP game ball for today's Indigenous round game, please welcome the Sydney Kings' first ever head coach, Claude Williams, and jersey artist, Stuart James.
Welcome back to Kudos Bank Arena. Celebrations here for the Tasmania JackJumpers, who come from 16 down in the last quarter to steal it on the buzzer, thanks to Nick Marshall, who had 9 of his 14 in the last quarter. They win it 90-89, and that makes the last 3 games in the Hungry Jacks NBL all decided by a single point. Who said there'd been a lot of blowouts? Come on now, look at these numbers. I mean, the Kings, their lowest scoring quarter of the season in any quarter, just 10 in the last. They played to try and protect the lead, and eventually it caught up with them.
Yeah, I was about to say that Tassie made a run early and then they weathered back control, but they almost slowed down so much that when you're not scoring, you let the other team go and go and go, and they just couldn't wrestle it back.
And it went back to that old where it was against the muscle shot. 4 of 17 from the field in that fourth quarter, and that was the game right there.
Well, credit to the JackJumpers. It's the Jackie way. We mentioned it during the call. They never give in. They're always going to be a chance. But that's a massive play from Nick Marshall, a first-year player with Tassie. And the pass from Cooks will let the little to be desired.
Oh, look at that. Jace, you said he had a bit to do. And give that to Will Magnay for the steal, but as they do kick up, Ben Air through it to Penny Marshall. Look at the boys, they're loving it.
Kings led for 22.5 minutes, and JackJumpers just for 15 and a bit to close out round 6. As I mentioned, look at the last 3 results there. 85-84, the Hawks on the road. United 81-80 over Adelaide, and then the JackJumpers on the road here get it done as well. So the road teams, well, they've had a great time of it here. The Phoenix and Melbourne, only home teams to win. And that's some sort of result. Trust you've enjoyed our coverage. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you. On your behalf of all the team, I'm John Casey. See you again soon here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. What a finish.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
We've got picture.
You have a picture, Adam?
I got picture.
Yeah, mate.